There's a conversation happening inside your head nobody else can hear. It usually begins quietly. You said you were going to wake up early, the alarm rings, and immediately the negotiation begins. 5 more minutes. You didn't get enough sleep. You could do it later. You deserve the rest. You said you were going to work out. The time comes, again, the negotiation. You've had a long day. Missing once won't matter. You'll go harder tomorrow. You said you were going to start the business, make the call, write the page, have the conversation, change the habit, and every time the moment arrives, another version of you walks into the room carrying a list of perfectly reasonable explanations for why right now is not the right time. That is the dangerous thing about excuses. The best ones sound intelligent. They do not sound like I want to destroy my future. They sound like I'll do it when I'm in the better position. I just need more time. I should probably think about it first. Maybe it isn't the right moment. And sometimes those things are true. But sometimes you are not thinking. You are negotiating. And the person sitting across the table is comfort. Think about how strange that is. Yesterday when you were calm, you made a decision. You said this matters. This is what I need to do. Then the moment arrives, you suddenly allow the tired, uncomfortable, emotional version of yourself to reopen the case. Why? That version of you does not have the new information. It just does not want to pay for the price. That version of you does not have the new information. It just does not want to pay the price. And that is an important distinction. Sometimes circumstances genuinely change. Plans should change with them. But discomfort is not new information. Fear is not always new information. Laziness is not new information. The fact that you no longer feel like doing something does not automatically mean your original decision was wrong. Imagine running a company where every employee could negotiate the rules based on how they felt that morning. Nothing will function, nothing will get done. Yet, people run their lives exactly the same way. The disciplined version of them creates the plan, then the emotional version of you vetoes the power, and eventually something starts happening. You stop trusting yourself. Not dramatically, quietly. Every broken promise teaches your mind something. When we say we're going to do something, we may not actually do it. Then you make another promise. Break that one too. Eventually your own words stop carrying weight. You say, I'm going to start, and some part of you already knows you probably won't. This is what makes self-discipline bigger than productivity. It is about credibility. Can you believe yourself? When you tell yourself you are going to do something, does your mind treat that statement like a decision or the beginning of another negotiation? Because confidence is not only built by succeeding. Confidence is built by becoming someone whose words mean something, especially when the word was given privately. There is no audience, no applause, no punishment if you quit. Just you. This is where character gets expensive. You cannot outsource that moment. No motivational video can make the decision for you. No book can lift the weight. No podcast can send the email. At some point, information ends and execution begins. So how do you stop negotiating? You make fewer decisions in the moment. Decide before the emotion arrives. If you train at 6, then 6 is not when you decide whether you are training. Your decision was already made. 6 is when you execute it. If you said the phone stays outside the bedroom, midnight is not when you debate the rule. The rule already exists. If you promise yourself 30 minutes of work, you do not ask whether you are inspired. You start the timer. This does not mean becoming robotic. Life changes. Emergencies happen. Bodies need rest. Plans sometimes need adjustments. But there is a massive difference between intelligently changing a plan and repeatedly escaping one. You know the difference. Deep down, you always do. One feels like wisdom, the other feels like relief. And relief is addiction. Because the moment you give yourself permission to quit, the discomfort disappears. That feels like winning. But look carefully. You did not eliminate the cost. You transferred it. The workout is still waiting. The conversation is still waiting. The goal is still waiting. Tomorrow you inherits everything today you avoided. This is why the easiest decision today can create the heavier life tomorrow. The difficult decision today can create the easier life later. So the next time the negotiation begins, notice it. Hear their arguments. Hear the perfectly reasonable excuses. Then ask one question. Did anything actually change, or did I simply not feel like paying the price anymore? That question will expose a lot, because sometimes you do not need to change the plan, but sometimes the strongest thing you can say to yourself is we already decided. No drama, no motivational speech, no debate, just execution. You do what you said you were going to do, and every time you do it, something compounds. Trust. Your mind starts learning. When we say something, we mean it. That becomes discipline. Discipline becomes identity, and eventually the negotiation becomes shorter. The voice still speaks, but it no longer gets a vote. That is freedom, not the absence of excuses, the ability to hear them and move anyway. So stop trying to win every argument with yourself. Some arguments should never begin. Make the decision, keep the promise, and when comfort asks to renegotiate the contract, reminded, we already decided. The art of self.